The way this all started was I was deeply addicted to heroin. To this day, he hates me. Last time we spoke, he hung up the phone on me. He said, "Where were you when we needed you?" I was in prison for a money crime, very emotional. To this very day, I might walk into a place and automatically just size it up. The most important thing that Aleph did was...
Good evening.
Great
Citizens.
Down and out.
Never surrender.
He's done it.
Famous victory. We're going to come back.
Turn to glory.
So if you want to start by telling me a little bit of the context of how you connected with Aleph.
I connected with Aleph many years ago at Greenhaven Correctional Institution in New York. I met someone in one of the bullpens in medical when I first came in, by the name of Phil. I won't give his last name. And he was clearly a religious guy, so I introduced myself, and he introduced me to the religious community there, the rabbi there, Rabbi Chill. And after a while, I was visited by some people from Aleph on some of the holidays, and Aleph was there for me every step of the way, from beginning to end, even to post-release.
What sort of a difference did that make for you in an environment like that, to know that an organization like Aleph was there?
Oh, it was a life-changing experience for me. I was a Jew, and I identified as a Jew, but I was secular, and I started to see a different perspective on the religious aspects, and the path that a different segment of Jews that I hadn't ordinarily known were on, and gave me a different perspective on life. Is that clear?
Yes, no, it is. Did you have many visitations of rabbis that would come? Or
Yeah, we had so many.
can you tell me a little bit about that experience?
It was great. Even when at times it was forbidden to drive, for a certain holiday, maybe, I don't remember, it might have been Yom Kippur or something like that. They would come in advance and stay somewhere and walk to the prison and come in. They were there pretty often.
And what impact did that have for you, knowing that these guys were dedicated to supporting you?
Well, it was kind of like a lifeline because, I had a small child at the time, and he needed social services, and they set it up. My wife was going through very difficult times. They were ready to help her in every way, as far as social services went, even transportation to visit, et cetera,
Can you, and only at the comfortability that you're able to, talk to that notion a bit of what Aleph did to help the relationship, and that's in those kind of situations? What I want to basically get to is how difficult it is for a marriage when you're in a situation like that, and how much Aleph tries to help.
Well, I was in prison for money crime, and I was bringing home a lot of money. And my wife was asking me, I was telling her that I was collecting money from past debts, and when in fact I was doing crimes to get this money. So one of the last things she said to me was, when she came to visit me in jail before I had been convicted, was, is that where the money came from? Or I was, accused of? And I said, yeah. And as she was getting up to leave, she said, I wouldn't have taken it if I had known. And she walked out on me, and it took her quite a while to get back to me by letter. By that time, I had already been sentenced and on my way to Greenhaven. The reason I went to Greenhaven is because, I thought I was so acquainted with the system. So Greenhaven is the only kosher place in the New York system at the time, and it's an easy place, lay back, and that's where I'm going to go. So that's where I went. And as soon as I got there, as I said earlier, I ran into Phil, who was wearing a kippah, beard, tzitzis. So I was dying for a cigarette. So I introduced myself, and I said, do you have any tobacco? He said, no, I don't smoke, but he knew everybody, and everybody put some tobacco together for me, and he said, I'll find out where you're going to be locking, and I'll get you moved over to the kosher mess hall worker. And I said to myself, this is the way to do the time if I have to do it. But slowly, I started to get a different perspective on what life is. And
what was your religious sort of journey, and how much did Aleph play a part in that while you were in that situation?
that was my basis of going from secular to, I was raised in a conservative atmosphere where it was okay to eat non-kosher outside of the house and not okay to eat it in the house, But now I eat kosher. I eat Shomer Shabbos. I realized that I was put on earth for a reason, and I have a purpose. I'm not quite sure what that purpose is yet, but I know it's not to do what I was doing in the past. And maybe this film will help somebody. The way this all started was I was deeply addicted to heroin. And I needed a lot of money to keep my habit going in order to make money to live and pay a mortgage and cost of living, And I had to steal a lot of money. Well, nowadays, I don't steal money. Sometimes, to this very day, I might walk into a place and automatically just size it up, and I said, this would be so easy. And then I put it out of my mind. But very, very far from being perfect, but Aleph helped open my eyes to see that there is much more to life than the life I was capable of seeing at the time. And most of it was because I was high on drugs. There was one time I remember I lived in a house in Livingston, New Jersey, and I had money and everything, and I was just standing there one day, and there was something wrong, and I didn't know what it was. And now I know what it was.
That's strong. In part of your journey, how much did you connect to the Chabad aspect or the Rebbe? I know that you've spoken a little bit on that. I want to see if you'd open up to that experience.
To the Lubavitcher Rebbe?
Yeah.
Oh, I met him one time when I was invited to Crown Heights for Shabbos, me and another couple. Well, that's a whole other story. But that was a life-changing experience. And I had met a lot of people in my life, but when he and I locked eyes, we didn't say a word, but life-changing. Later on, I asked who that was, and they said, "You don't know." So, life goes on. I didn't know too much then, and I still don't know too much now. But life is a journey of learning. It's full of regrets in my life. So when I was a kid, my father told me, God bless his soul, he said, whenever you're in a place, no matter where you are, just try to make it a little bit better. So it took me quite a while to put that into practice. Very emotional, this interview is becoming for me. And every word of it is true in my life. Maybe somebody can identify with it, maybe not. For whatever purpose this interview is happening, and I hope it's making the place a little bit better. Any other questions?
How on that idea of making things better, and let me tell you, it's powerful what you're saying, the words that are coming out. How much has the support of an organization like Aleph in incarceration and then post-incarceration allowed you to be this person who you are right now?
How much of what?
How much has the support allowed you to be this person who is making things better?
Oh, whenever I can now, I've reversed it. I support Aleph. But for quite a while, when I was released, Joyce, based out of California, Aleph's California post-release, they sent me so much assistance, not only contacts, but clothing, sent me a money voucher for a couple of $100. They were, and they were supportive in other ways, not only monetarily, they were there. So, slowly but surely I got on my feet. And nowadays, thank God, whenever I can, I donate to Aleph. And that's going to be one of my stops when I do travel. What is it, Surfside?
Yeah.
Miami, the Aleph Institute headquarters. And I'll find out when they allow visitors, and I'll come in and say, hi, what's up?
I think one thing which people don't understand, and which part of the other side of this interview is how much the support is necessary and important and changes people's lives. So can you talk a little bit to how much, how important it is that Aleph does these kind of things?
Yeah, it's a lifeline with all the way across the board. I saw the in Aleph magazine what they did for families, children, and what they did to help keep these families together during the person's incarceration. And it's a great organization. And when I hit the Mega Millions, one of the first checks I'm writing is to the Aleph Institute for $1 million. I swear. So with God's will, maybe right now, from time to time, I can send them $18 at a time, $36 at a time. But, if I could afford more, I would, because these people are wonderful people, all the way across.
Can you go back to your experience? Can you tell me a little bit about what Aleph did for, you said you had a child at the time.
Yeah, I had an adopted son, Robert, who had been with us from the time he was 3 months old. So, he asked me what I was in jail for, why I was in jail. And I told him for stealing some money. And he was like confounded, shocked. He said, why didn't you just go to the machine? Because I used to go to the ATM machine and get out money. He couldn't understand. And so I wanted to get him some social services, some therapy. Aleph had set it all up, but Betty, my wife, chose not to take that avenue. And to this day, he hates me. Last time we spoke, he hung up the phone on me. He said, where were you when we needed you? And he's right. Because I was used to high living. I thought I was smarter than everybody, I was doing nonviolent crimes, but looking back at it, it was very, very dangerous. Put myself in some very vulnerable situations. And, I was just flying high.
When you were going through the points of conviction, Was Aleph there throughout the court cases and sentencing and so on and so forth?
No, no.
Not no.
They didn't really need to be. We cut deals. I had lawyers.
And when you were incarcerated, how much did they ensure that you got Jewish food, kosher food, Jewish things for high holidays and so on?
Oh, all the way. And it was excellent. Greenhaven had, fresh food that didn't have to come in trays. We had our own kitchen. I was one of the workers there. And there was only the civilian had the key, and prison guards didn't have the keys to refrigerators or anything. It was strictly kosher. And after I was released from prison, I was in a halfway house. I was in a shelter, actually, at first, Bellevue Shelter, because I didn't have an address in New York, and I was on parole. So Aleph, within hours, I was called down by the supervisor of the kitchen in Bellevue, and he told me who he was. He said, "I've been here, working here for over 30 years, and you're the first one that ever got a religious diet of any kind." He said, "What do you want?" And that was through Aleph. They put me, I can't remember the name of the rabbi who did it, but the supervisor of Bellevue was amazed. Then I was finally released. I was in a halfway house, and the same thing happened. Aleph took care of that. They'll do that for anybody in the military, on parole, in prison.
Can you talk to some of the things that Aleph did for you that I might not know about?
We've covered it pretty much of it. The most important thing that Aleph did was to bring me to an awareness that on a spiritual level, that I had not been aware of before. And it started me on a spiraling upward vortex in my life and in my surroundings. Do you understand what I just said?
100%.
So it goes from the energy that comes directly from God and being able to tap into it on an increasing level. That's what Aleph started me at. I don't know how else to explain it.
I understand. The last question I'll ask you is you mentioned about leaving things in a better place, and not sure why this interview is happening, but maybe some good can come out of it. So, if you have any message or any ideas that you want to share, please.
Yeah, I abused myself. I'm 79 years old. I abused my body for most of my life with alcohol and drugs. And I still wake up every morning and do 20, 25 push-ups at a clip. I'm working on starting to do pull-ups again. I go to LA Fitness. I don't do heroin anymore. Every now and then I have a few drinks, but I don't overdrink. And I'm living life, and nobody is promised tomorrow, but God has been pretty good to me, because I'm still in fairly decent condition. Not as good as I could be, but when things seem impossible, they're not impossible. Just have faith in God. It's called Amunah. Take it for somebody who knows. I thought everything was up to me. I thought I had a plan, and a plan A and a plan B for everything. Well, I was wrong, but God does.
Thank you. That was beautiful. I appreciate your time and your vulnerability.